As you know, it's the last day of Carers Week this week, and so we thought it would be great to wind up the last. Hello, I'm going to start again because I think. Hello, I'm going to start again because I think then you probably didn't hear me because it wasn't starting. And now, as you can hear, we're pretty much outside and the helicopter's going over, so absolutely typical, isn't it? Anyway, good morning and welcome to the South Somerset Talking Cafe. And as you know, it's the last day of Carers Week, and so we thought it'd be really nice to wind up the week with a little bit of a treat. So last year, obviously, we were able to go out to all our carers groups and we took out cakes and had a little party. And one of the people, Pat from South Child, actually from the Child Talking Cafe, she actually put on a wonderful spread, a dinner and a dance afterwards. It was lovely. But sadly, of course, we're not going to be able to do that this year. So the reason why I'm outside, or rather in my conservatory, with all the windows and the doors open, is because I've got a guest with me this week, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. So to kind of introduce my guest, carers, as you know, you all work really hard 24/7, don't get much of a break, and when you do, you're normally sitting there planning when you're going to manage to squeeze in the shopping or how on earth you're going to get the hoovering done. And instead of sitting there relaxing, you're twitching away in your chair thinking, got to do this, got to do that. And eventually your body forgets what it is to relax, and it actually doesn't know how to feel what relaxation feels like. And you end up remaining tense and alert all the time, and eventually, and you might want to put some ticks when I say this, it leads to irritability, tick, tearfulness, tick, exhaustion, and eventually total burnout. So today I've got a guest with me, Carole Lade from Carole Lade Holistic Care, and she used to be a carer for her mother, and she knows only too well how busy and stressful caring can be. And in a moment, she's going to demonstrate some ways that you can seize your relaxation opportunities and what to do with them. So just to make sure, I just want to let you know that we are observing social distancing. So before Carole came, I've absolutely cleaned everything down with my antiviral cleaner. And we've got a chair each, and in a minute we're going to sort of shift chairs, so we're not going to be sort of cross-contaminating at all. We're in the conservatory for that reason, so I hope the light's okay. And we've got all the windows and all the doors open, so hopefully you can hear me all right. It'd be great if you can just put me on a few chats to let me know that everything's going okay. And again, hopefully we won't have any more helicopters going over and the wind isn't going to kind of come in too much and disturb us. So as I said, Carole's going to come in a second, and we're going to do a little sort of dance with the chairs, so that she can pop over and talk to you about when you can find sort of little moments of relaxation and how to make the most of them. So hello Kerry, thank you for popping on and seeing us. It's great to see you there. So I do know I am live and you are hearing me, which is always a bit of a bonus. Right, so I am going to move, so I'm just literally shifting some of my things over, and we're not going to touch the computer. I am now going to scoot back and hand over to Carole Lade. It's the dance of the chairs, everyone.
Right, good morning everybody. I hope you can hear me. But excuse me because I'm a little bit nervous because this is the very first Facebook Live I've ever done, so I'm feeling a little bit stressful. So basically, yeah, as you heard, I'm a holistic therapist, sort of specialising in mindfulness and meditation, Reiki, sound healing, something called tapping, and a few other bits and pieces. So really what I wanted to talk about this morning was just how we can relax as and when we need to. Firstly, the most important thing to do when you're trying to relax is to try and find something that you enjoy. It's all very well me saying do this, do that. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to relax. Some ways that you might find that is personal for relaxation is dance, music, gardening and baking. Now, that might sound a bit like, so we'll come into a little bit more of that when we talk about the mindfulness aspects of it. Another element that's really good for relaxation is something called journaling. So if you have sort of just a few minutes of a day where you can just sit and write just sit down and write down. You can write down your feelings, how you're thinking, just what you're experiencing. It just gets that out of your system, out onto paper. So that can make you feel quite a lot better. A lovely way of obviously relaxation, which I don't know how many of you have been watching Spring Watch at the moment, but is being in nature. Green plants, sounds of the birds and the water are very effective and have a very positive effect on the brain. So that's something, if you can get out for a walk on your own or with the person you're caring with, that's something that you might be able to be both engage with together or with a friend. That's where gardening also comes in. If you can spend a bit of time outside in the garden, if you have a garden of course, just enjoying the garden, enjoying the breeze blowing through the trees, the sunshine, the birds. If you're lucky enough to be in a wild garden, just explore it and listen to the bees humming and the flies and things. Walking in nature particularly is a really lovely experience. You can just gently slow down and just explore that movement as you move through, which is a little bit where the dance comes in as well. If you're one of the things I always say to my clients is dance like a child. If you remember when you were little, put the music on, and and it really makes you feel good.
Oh, absolutely. And I suppose the energy as well really helps, doesn't it?
And that's the thing. When we are feeling stressful, which is your inner energy, which is your chi energy or your prana energy, it depends on what mode you might practice, that becomes stuck. And that's what really can cause the anxieties and maybe contribute to your illnesses and things. So if you can find something that helps you move that chi, that energy around the body. So as I said, dance, walking, running, if you enjoy that sort of thing.
So you could actually squeeze that into a 5 minute. So if your cared for person is sitting down eating their lunch or
5 minutes, and that's really all it takes. I mean, 5 minutes is wonderful. So mindfulness particularly, which is what this all really leads into, is a 5 minute exercise.
Incredible.
So all you have to do is you just stop what you're doing, you slow down and you breathe. And that's what we forget to do. And it literally is, you just take 3 deep breaths in. So you take, and you're letting that energy flow. You take that breath right the way down to the stomach and just allow it to flow through. By doing those 3 initial breaths, that sort of notifies the brain that your body's going into relaxation. And then you just literally breathe. So just breathe very gently, just normal breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you do that, you will start to notice that you might notice there are areas of tension in your body. A classic place we hold tension is in our jaw and in the back of our neck. And in our shoulders. Mine is my jaw. The number of times I think, oh God, I need to release, and just release the jaw. And as soon as you release the jaw, you start to feel relaxed. As you allow your shoulders to fall away from your neck, again, you let it sink down to the ground. It feels really good.
It is so true. And I remember you telling me before about the jaw, and I remember unhooking my jaw as you said it and going, oh yes. And now, whenever I think I'm feeling stressed, I say, come on, get that jaw loose. And just the actual thing of letting my jaw loose makes me think, I need to be calm.
Yeah, and it does. It just literally relaxes you. Now, presumably everybody's got access to YouTube. There are literally hundreds of wonderful mindfulness and meditations on YouTube. You can pick and choose which ones. You can find something that suits yourself. There's some lovely ones for helping you to go to sleep if you're struggling. It's particularly if we're anxious, with stress, we sometimes find it difficult to sleep. So that's quite nice. And there's lots of little 10-minute ones they can give you to help you through the day. People I particularly like is somebody called Jason Stevenson. And then there's the mindful, I think it's the mindful movement, and that's Sarah Raymond, and they've got lovely calming voices that just really just allow you to relax. Another way, another things on YouTube that you can find is something called Qigong. There are Tai Chi, there are some yoga practices, there's some practices where you're sitting, so if you're finding it difficult to stand and do the yoga practices, you can do them sitting down, which is really helpful. Another thing obviously is to drink plenty of water, try and get enough sleep, and take time with your meals. That's the one that we tend to, particularly I can remember, you tend to gobble your food down when you're a carer because you're kind of trying to eat that and get on to the next thing and make sure everybody else is all right. Trying to slow that process down will definitely make you feel better. Another one that I found really helpful, and I know this might sound a bit odd, and might sound a bit Pollyanna-y, is something called gratitude. Finding something to be grateful when you are feeling stressed and anxious can be quite difficult, but if you actually stop and think, particularly where I am in Somerset, we have a lovely area where we can be grateful for. It's simple things like being grateful for the water coming out of your tap, the fact that you flick the switch on your kettle and you've got electricity. So finding an odd, I mean, what I tried to do was I tried to find 10 things to be grateful for every day, and I wrote them down. And the more things I became grateful for, the more things I found, and the more I relaxed. So just an idea. Another one, although we're on social media, on Facebook Live, I found, particularly at this time for me, it was great to disconnect from social media and the news. I've used social media particularly just to get on to do particular courses and things, but other than that I've tried to stay away from it as much as possible, and the news. Everything I need filters through, in conversations with people, so hopefully that's just an idea. So around the home, things that you can help with making it calmer is green plants, a bit obvious really. If you haven't, just put some green plants, particularly green plants like prayer plants, spider plants, aloe plants, those sorts of things. They're really good for cleansing the air, and cleansing the air also then helps to reduce the stress levels. Obviously allowing fresh air to blow through the environment can move any sort of stuck energy that's sort of hanging around the home, and it can actually make you feel better. If you're one of these people that suffers quite badly from depression when it's sort of a bit grey, then there's something called sad lamps. But if you can't, sad lamps are actually quite expensive, but you can get salt lamps, and they pretty much do the same job because they're that orange glow. But again, because of the nature of the salt, it kind of helps to pull any impurities, bacteria and things out of the house.
I've not heard of a salt lamp.
Yeah, they're lovely. They're really, really nice. They're very, very, very. They've got a nice, orangey, pinky glow. So they're very calming to have around.
Are they similar to a lava lamp?
No, it's literally a block of Himalayan pink salt on top of a light bulb. Really, yes. So and you just put them on. You have to be careful that you use them regularly because you don't want them to get damp, because then they can, and then obviously you can have problems with fire because it's electric and.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Another thing that I like to use, which some people might think is a bit out there, is crystals. You can have crystals in your house, different types of crystals that can actually make you feel better. Again, it's entirely up to you. I'm not going to say get this or get that, because it's something that's really useful and something you should pick for yourself. The only one that I always say to people is a really good one to have is something called shungite, because if you do a lot of social media on this sort of Facebook and things quite a lot, it absorbs that electromagnetic energy, so that's quite good.
That's quite interesting. Yeah.
So, and another thing, obviously, things like lavender and chamomile. Lavender and chamomile are really, really soothing and relaxing. Beautiful in tea. You can make a lovely, I think it's lavender and I want to say basil, but I'm not sure if that's right. But lavender and basil teas, that sort of thing. You can pick the plants, or pucca, do a lovely range of different things, and Pukka actually do a really nice nighttime tea. So if you have problems sleeping, it's got valerian in it, I believe.
Ooh.
So it really relaxes you and helps you get those nice 8 hours sleep that we all need.
Oh yeah, I might look out for those. Got plenty of valerian out in the garden and plenty of lavender.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can turn them into tea, mind.
No, but I think the Pukka teas are actually, they're not the cheapest things in the world, but they're actually really nice. And again, I think the other one that I like is chamomile and jasmine, and that's really relaxing as well, really, and it tastes really nice. So they're just really nice just to help you kind of chill.
And actually you get better with those, because I've given up coffee now, and that took me quite a long time to stop wanting coffee, but now I just don't. I prefer the taste of the herbal teas. It's taken a long time.
Well, caffeine's particular, because obviously caffeine is addictive.
Yeah.
So and again, that's another thing, if you can reduce the caffeine intake, but I always say reduce it gradually, because if you go from like one to the other quite quickly, then you get caffeine withdrawal and you can get really bad headaches. So you have to be a bit careful with that.
Yeah.
But from a short meditation point of view, nice things you can do are, one I love to do first thing in the morning when I've got my cup of tea, is I just sit with my cup of tea and just listen to the birds singing, or listen to the sound of the wind in the trees, and you'll just smell the tea and just really notice the smell of the tea, and then you kind of really take a sip of the tea and just allow that to go around the mouth, just experiencing those flavours, and then as you swallow the tea you can actually feel that go down. So that's a really simple short relaxation meditation, and it just takes a bit of time and it's just, I mean, I love sitting with a cup of tea, but one of those herbal teas is lovely. You can sit with whatever. You can really explore your mug, because that's the whole point of mindfulness, really, is you're connecting into your senses, and you are slowing everything down, because that's the thing. What we tend to do is our minds are doing 101. There's lots of information coming in, and there's lots of thoughts. And the thoughts, sometimes, because we tend to live in the past or we live in the future, they can create stress.
Yes, you're right, and I do that quite often. I find I'll sit down and I'll think, I'm going to have a really nice cup of tea, and then I'm so busy either watching the telly or thinking about things that I actually haven't enjoyed the cup of tea. And it's even worse if you're having something like chocolate, so you're eating all those calories, and then you haven't even noticed you've done it. You really need to stop and focus.
And I think that's the thing. People quite often say to me, I haven't got time to do meditation, and I sort of say, switch the TV off for 10 minutes. So just 10 minutes out of your day, either with a cup of tea, a chocolate biscuit, a piece of chocolate, just really basically experience it, enjoy it.
It's making you consciously stop and say, I'm going to enjoy this.
And being in that moment.
Yes.
And that's the key to mindfulness, is being present in that moment in time.
But we're going to have to seize those moments, aren't we, as carers? Because
that's definitely,
you know, there's often somebody in the background saying, come on, I want a cup of tea.
Yeah, or I need to go to the toilet, or can you cut my food up? Yeah, so it is, I mean, personally speaking, I used to find the best time was when they went to bed. I had, yes, I had jobs that I needed to do, etc. But I always allowed myself 10 minutes just to relax. And for me, a bit of self-care, really. And that's really what that's about, this whole relaxation, all these things. It's self-care.
But you can plan them, can't you? So you could say to the person that you care for, right, you've got your dinner, or you've got the TV, I'm going outside and you're giving me 5 minutes.
Yes.
So that, and if they're all set up, they've been to the toilets, etc., then you know that you can absolutely guilt-free have that 5 minutes. And like you say, it's only 5 minutes, but what you can do in that 5 minutes is incredible, isn't it?
And it's taking that time every day. And as I said, I mean, and you might be lucky enough that you can fit sort of more than a few 5 minutes in over the day. It is practice, and the more you practice, the better you get at it. So that's the other thing as well. I know when I first started doing mindfulness meditation, particularly, you get you kind of concentrate on the breath to start with, and you do the breathing, and and then your mind wanders, which is the normal that's normal with the brain. It wanders off. And the idea is, as soon as you notice that wandering, you just very, very gently just bring it back to the point of whatever you're doing. So if it's your breathing that you're concentrating on, or the cup of tea, or your food if you're eating the food, or if you're out in the garden having a walk. I mean, another lovely thing to do from a mindfulness point of view is when you're gardening, is just literally putting your hands in the soil, you know, just getting your hands in the earth. I mean, that's just a lovely, I love that feeling. And it's just having that, it's cool, and it's, yeah, I know it gets dirty, it gets under your nails, but hey ho. But again, when you're washing your hands, just, you know, running your hands under the water, just allowing yourself a few seconds, if you like, just to think, oh, that feels so nice. And then, you know, allow just the way of the soap going through your hands, and maybe the smell of the soap. You know, treat yourself to a nice bar of soap.
Absolutely.
You know, it is about you're allowed to treat yourself. I think that's the thing. We don't, as carers, we get a bit lost and we forget to treat ourselves.
Keep going. I'm just looking at some of the chats as you go.
Okay,
So I'm standing back behind you. I might have to put my glasses on. Oh, lovely. Yeah, we're all on there. Looks like we're up and running. So thank you, everybody, for making sure that we're all good. Perhaps in a minute we could try a breathing session or something.
Yeah, we'll do that. We can do that now. So I can practice on you, because I can't see anybody. So
well, I'm able to move over here actually, which would probably make more sense, because I'm now behind the computer, so you can't see me, but you can probably hear me better.
So basically, get in a comfortable position. Relax, just you know, whatever. I mean, you might want hands on your hands here. Try and keep your both feet flat on the ground. Just gently close your eyes, okay, and breathe in through the nose, and then out through the mouth, and then in through the nose, and out through the mouth, and then in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And just allow yourself to breathe normally. Just breathe, just allow the breath to return normally. Just breathing in and out through the nose. And just gently bring your attention to a point of noticing the breath. Now that may be the rise and fall of your chest. Just tune in to the rise and fall. Just if you notice your mind has wandered to what you're having for dinner or what needs to be done, just gently bring it back to that breath again. And it doesn't matter how many times you just bring it back to it. Some days you'll just be able to do it easily, other days you'll need to just constantly bring it back to the breath. So just breathe deeply and just enjoy that breath. And with each breath out, you just allow the body to relax a bit more. So you're allowing the shoulders to release away from the neck, the jaw to relax, the forehead, just allow those lines to sort of smooth out, allow the forehead to relax. Just feel the body, sort of feel the weight moving down towards the earth, feel the gravity pulling you down. If you do notice any areas of tension in the body as you're just breathing, just allow them to soften. Just imagine that breath just going to that area, just softening that area. And if you're finding that there's your thoughts coming through, just imagine them on a cloud and they're just drifting past. Just acknowledge the thought. Thank you for the thought. I'll deal with it later. And just move it on. So just coming back to the room that you're in, the space that you're in, just wiggling your fingers and toes. And hopefully you can still hear me because it says trouble with video playing on the screen.
Oh.
So hopefully we've got to the end and you've noticed that. But as I said, a lot of those can be found on YouTube. The particular one we've just done is part of a body scan. So if you look up a body scan meditation on YouTube, you'll certainly be able to find that one.
Oh, that sounds brilliant.
I hope that's helped.
It did actually. When you started talking about relaxing, I suddenly realised how, obviously being here presenting, we're not going to be relaxed, but I could feel how tense I was, and then I was able to start dropping it.
Yeah,
which was
I
amazing.
could feel the tension in my jaw,
Yeah.
where I hold it, and I was like, no, now my jaw to relax.
Oh. And you're so right about that discipline of making you clear your mind, but not feeling guilty about the thoughts that are coming in, but just trying to help yourself to empty for a little bit.
That is the way the brain works. It constantly, it gives you these thoughts because that's a way of protecting you, and that's just how the brain works. But if you can just allow that to drift on, then that's so much better. So as I say, the key is, in a way, is to try and be present in that moment. You can explore a leaf. Just go and just take one leaf. If you've just got literally a few minutes, just go and pick a leaf in the garden and just look at it and run it through your fingers, feel it, smell it. They all smell different. They all look different. Absolutely. And surprisingly as well, it's surprising when you walk around your garden, or I don't think how many other people notice just how many different colour greens there are.
Yes, definitely. I like to put I know it sounds a bit daft, but I like to be down, like you said, in the soil. I like to be down with the flowers, and you can hear the bees kind of buzzing past, and the scents, and just you're not in the house, you're not being busy, you're not doing, you're actually sort of being part of the countryside.
And that's the key. It's about being, and if you can be in home. I mean, as I said, you can do a mindful exercise, just washing up. We all have to wash up. Just slow it. Basically, you're just slowing it down, and you're just using your touch, feeling the bubbles. You might smell and just move, and just experiencing that movement of washing a dish. Yeah. So there are lots of different ways. I know we've kind of skitted over everything in a very short space of time. If anybody would like any further information, I do have a Facebook page, although I'm not integrating too much with it, but you can find me through Messenger. By all means, message me, and if I can offer any more advice, I'm more than happy to do that.
And if we could have a look, because we can find Carole's actual webpage, which is Carole Lade Holistic Care.
Carole Lade. Oh, hang on. How bad is that?
I'm pretty sure it's Carole Lade Holistic Care, and if you tap that in, it will come up, and it starts in a nice lavender colour, I think, doesn't it?
Yes, it's all being updated at the moment, so be patient with my Facebook, my webpage, because we've just been updating it, and again, I haven't done an awful lot of work because one of the things, I took my own advice and I came off of everything for a space of time just to get my own head around what was going on. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, one of the things we do in our house is we actually turn off our internet. We turn the whole server, or not server, whatever it's called, the Wi-Fi, we turn it off at night, so that we leave our windows open, just so that we have that kind of head clear space. My daughter's not very impressed with it because instead of forcing her off her internet, she says it means she's using all her minutes at night. So we haven't quite won the battle yet, but it just, like I say, clears the air, because we don't really know what all of this clutter is doing to ourselves.
No. Well, I think that's it. There's so much with with social media, and if you're on screens, you've got that blue light as well. Particularly at night, it can disrupt your sleep pattern. So if you've spent a lot of time before you go to bed on your phone or on your iPad or on your computer, or even watching TV, you have that blue effect which can disrupt your sleep pattern.
Yeah.
So although I said there are some lovely sleep meditations, what I do with mine is I put them on, but I put the iPad in a place where the blue light doesn't come through, so I can hear it, but I don't get disrupted by the colour.
Absolutely.
And that just... And it is literally finding something that works for you. There are literally thousands of meditations, thousands of pieces of wonderful meditation pieces of music on there. It's just finding that piece that works for you.
And it's practicing as well, isn't it? Because it won't happen straight away, especially when you're tense and your body can forget what relaxation feels like, because when you're marching around tense all the time, it's going to take quite a while of practicing and trying over and over again to actually allow your body to drop and say, it's all right, I'm allowed to relax.
Yes. And that's that key to that breathing bit to start with. If you take those 3 deep breaths sort of down into it's kind of like a way of it's a trigger to the brain to say, I'm going into relaxation. So so once you start to get into the habit of doing that, as soon as you start doing those 3 breaths, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to relax now, and you find that you just find that everything just goes, okay, yeah.
And I think going back to your thing about being grateful, it took me a little while to understand that one, because it isn't. It's about that realization. It's looking at the good bits, isn't it? Instead of walking around with a thundercloud above your head, feeling that everything is bad. I mean, if you're, with carers, it's really, there's a situation that's been put on you, and it's very hard to change that situation. And so, at first you probably are very angry or very upset and very stressed, and you've got an awful lot of negative feelings that you do need to go through to, it's a grieving process that needs to be gone through. But once you've kind of moved a little bit through that grieving process, you can't change the situation, but you can start to change your attitude towards it. And without that sounding sort of bullying or nasty or...
It's just, I mean, I can remember the first time I sort of started doing gratitude with somebody, and they still, you sound like Pollyanna. And I thought, well, yeah, but if you think about it, it's... And as I said, I sort of said, right, start off with 10 things, and I write down, I do it every day now. I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for. And actually, if I just suddenly thought, there's a wonderful book called The Magic by Rhonda Byron, and that is basically a number of, it's I think 27 days of different gratitude exercises. So it's a really nice way of building that, and you can find that book on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lovely book. And then there's also a really nice magazine that comes out on a monthly basis. It's a little bit expensive, £5.99, and that's called Breathe.
Oh, yes.
And that does a lot of, that's got mindfulness, creativity, living.
That sounds interesting. While you're talking, I'm going to go and get a book that I loved while you're showing, because it's about gratitude. It's about remembering, changing your mind, and when you're feeling really miserable. So I'll just go and grab it.
But gratitude, I think for me, the things that helped me the most were the gratitude and the mindfulness. I think those 2 are the things that I do the most. And I found that over a period of time, they've really helped me. They helped me not only get over my own personal health problems, but also the death of my father.
We're gone.
And working with...
No, we are gone.
Are we gone? I didn't know if we were gone.
Yeah.
I didn't know because it was going there, people could still hear us.
Yeah, how long have we been gone for? Hang on.
Somebody's put it on there. Body scan meditation. Somebody's
Perfect. So we can't end live video. No, I think we're well. It's really gone.
I think it's finished, is it?
doesn't seem to be.
Is it to do with the time? I don't know.
No, it shouldn't be.
Oh, right.
No, just I think it's just crashed.
Right.
Oh
well, they might have missed the last bit then.
Yeah, it's a shame really. So that was 1 minute ago, was it? Hello. So we lost it about 11:26. So it's not horrendous.
No.
Let's see if anyone pings up. Oh, we're still live. Oh, sorry guys, we've just had us chatting away there. So can you see the video?
Can you see us?
That's good news, sort of. So you can still see us. It's just us that can't see us, I guess. So yeah. Oh, in that case, this is
Just put something there.
no, all live still. Oh, super. Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
Okay.
brilliant. Let's we'll wind up in a second then. This is the book that I found, and I hope you can see it because obviously I can't see where the computer is because we're all dead at this end. Oh yeah, there we go. So happiness is, and I found this in a bathroom somewhere, and they'd pinned them all up on the wall. But again, it's going back to just when you're feeling really dark.
Yeah.
It's thinking about being grateful. So happiness is a mother's cooking, finally peeing when you really need to. So it's just simple little observations of life that are those things to be grateful for, or to notice that they're happy. Riding in a car parallel to a fast moving train. It's not often you get to do that, but it is quite.
Yeah.
And I love this book because it takes you back to those sort of.
It takes you back to when you were a child, I think.
Yes.
Because I think particularly as we become adults, we lose. We all have that inner child. We just need to reactivate it.
Yes. Yeah, and just remember those excitements.
Yeah, and I think the thing is as well, because of the nature of things, is particularly at this time, it's try and rely on your own inner wisdom. You all have it. It's there. Trust yourself to know what it is that you need.
Yes.
And allow yourself to have that time to enjoy what you need, and that's really important. Because we don't particularly, I mean, as carers, but as women as well, this might be something that we're not very good at doing. It is taking that time for yourself.
We always feel that we've got to drive ourselves on, and we're trained to feel guilty for doing that. I mean, even down to sort of exercise, we've always, people have always said, you might not feel like it, but go on, get out there and do it, and you'll feel better afterwards. But actually, your body's telling you.
If your body, as I say, I mean, what I always say to people is just at the beginning of each day, as part of your sort of self-care routine, is just put your hand on your heart when you're doing that breathing exercise, and just simply ask yourself what it is that you need, and just allow your intuition to tell you what it needs. And quite often it might say you just need to have a bit more rest. So give your some time to rest. If you're hungry, if you need something more nutritious to eat, it will tell it. Your body does know what you need. You just have to spend some time listening to it.
Yeah.
And that's something we're not very good at.
No, we've been trained.
Out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, being a carer, sometimes you're not able to get those moments. So it's trying to remember that they are important and not putting them to the side. Because of course, although the cared for's needs are great, if you're not there and able to, if you don't look after yourself, you're not going to be able to look after them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I always used to say. If you're all right, they're all right.
Absolutely.
And that's the key. And I think and sometimes we forget that because we're concentrating on their needs rather than their own. And it's fine to spend a few minutes a day just thinking of yourself, and don't feel guilty about it.
In fact, you need to factor it in. You need to. It's not feeling guilty about it. It's actually saying this is part of my caring routine. Is that I'm going to do this, and this as part of our day. And making it even less than guilty, but actually important, that it is a fundamental structure of the day.
And it is thinking about things, as I say, if you've got particular tasks that you have to do, like the washing up or a bit of gardening, that's actually when you can incorporate that mindfulness practice.
Yeah, so you don't even have to block out that time.
No, you can actually do it while it's effectively just slowing that process down.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much,
You're
Carol.
welcome.
Sorry, I'm just checking, not because I'm just making sure nobody's beeping and saying, we can't hear you or anything like that.
I don't know if anybody has any questions.
It would be lovely. And perhaps if we could hear...
I'm sorry I've rushed that through a little bit.
Oh, you found my book!
I was a little nervous, so I've probably gabbled that through a bit too quick. So if there is anything you would like to ask, or by all means do.
Oh, fantastic. So the Doublegate Farm B&B and tea rooms have donated cream teas and cakes for carers. Oh, that is amazing.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. So pulled names out of a hat to support Carers Week. So we have got cakes to carers. Yay! Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I'm really pleased about that. Oh, that's fabulous. Well, thank you, everybody. So if you've got any questions you'd like to ask Carol, or any thoughts of your own that you'd like to add, or little tips of things that you do, we can probably put another kind of 5 minutes in for everyone to share some ideas, which would be lovely to hear. And so Carol, as we said, she's got her Facebook page, which is out there, and I'm stuck now.
Webpage.
yeah, your webpage. That's the word we're struggling
and
for.
I'm on Messenger, so you can always find me. Just Carole Lade on Messenger. It's quite nice. It's Lade is Lade, so that's always
brilliant. Yeah, so that we can find you if you would like that. And Carol is booked once our carers groups start again. She is booked to work with all of our carers groups to give 2 sessions, in fact. One session is similar to today. It's a proper relaxation session to allow carers. Absolutely.
and
not quite so stressed.
And it will be easier to engage face to face, because it's easy. I think it's easier when you see people rather than you're sort of looking at a screen and all I can see is myself, or a blank screen.
As it is at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. So you will give people that chance to actually feel that relaxation, so that your body then knows what it's looking for time and time again. And she's also going to do one on nutrition. And the nutrition isn't about making yourself feel guilty about eating the right foods. Go ahead.
It's more about how we eat rather than what you eat. And again, it's a little bit of a play on mindfulness. So it's more of the psychology of eating. Looking at why we eat what we eat, how we eat, rather than going down into the nitty-gritty of what you eat, because at the end of the day we're all different and we all like different things, and as a carers particularly, you don't always want to be cooking 2 separate meals and that sort of thing. So absolutely. It's about and price and all that sort of thing. So it's about looking at how we eat much more than what we eat.
Oh, that would be brilliant. And the carers groups will be starting up again. I know Ivor Dixon up in Somerset on his Friday morning one at, I think they're normally 10 o'clock or 10:30. He's looking at doing Zoom, and I think today is actually his first day where he's going to try and get the Zoom working for his carers group. So that would be quite exciting to see and support him with. And also the... if you look on our website, if we can put that one up, www.somersetcarers.org, I think it is. In there, at the top of there, we've got a thing saying what's on in your area, and on there are all the carers cafes. What's the word I'm talking about? Carers groups, and when they meet. I mean, obviously, it may well change post lockdown, but hopefully they'll all be up and running eventually, and. At least you can see who the contacts are and find out when they're going to be, and hopefully then we'll be able to get these booked in. So there you are.
Oh, there I am. Thank you very much.
So we're going to probably just end up now. We'll just wait a couple of seconds to see if anyone else would like to comment on some of the things that they do to help themselves calm. I know Emily, if Emily's there, she was talking the other week. She was saying she was feeling really low. And suddenly realised she just hadn't been out walking. So she got herself out, took the kids for a nice walk, and just picked herself back up again. And that's the trouble with caring, isn't it? That because you're so busy all the time.
Yeah, and I think that the key is to have, I always say, have the tools in your toolbox. Life happens. That's just what happens. But once you realise, then you've got that tool in your toolbox to pull on and move forward again.
Brilliant. Oh, look, we've got it. Let's scroll down again. Do you know, last time I was doing this, I hadn't worked out where the scroll down button was. and I was saying, please, people, talk to me, and they were all tapping away, and I couldn't see them. It was terrible, but we're there now. So, oh yeah, lovely. We've got the what's on in your area, which is perfect, so we can have a look and see where they are. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to come and stand sort of behind you to wave goodbye, because I
don't know if you can see us.
Yeah, you may not be able to see us, but thank you again for joining us today. And I'm not sure what's going to be on next week, so I will have to leave that for now. So watch out on all our Facebook pages and on the Talking Cafe Facebook page, because they will tell you exactly what's going on throughout the week. But lovely to be with you, and I hope you found it useful today. And we will see you next Friday. Bye.
Thank you very much.